What the heck? We have a phone? I had no idea we had a phone. Hello? I can't understand you. Who is this? Hello? Hello? Oh no, not again.
Oh God. Welcome to another episode of Technical Earth Syndicate, where we inspire, inform, and entertain you. I'm Michael Buffington.
And I'm Chris Stewart.
And this is episode 19.
Welcome to a very special Halloween episode. It's not too special, I guess. It's a normal show. But hey.
We've got some creepy Halloween-themed discussion for today.
Yes, we do. It's going to be the scariest game discussion that Chris and I have ever played, or rather, run down a list of games that we've played that are scared the crap out of us. And on Alan's Tech Corner, we got Blood Bricks, the iPad Mini, and the iPad 4. With a TS review, we got Zombie Swipeout and Primal Carnage. And TES News, we got mobile Borderlands, and also the TV channel G4 canning shows, and much more. Should be a really good show.
Yep.
Chris, run! Okay, run. I think it's time for another topic attack. Well, today on Topic Attack, we're going to be discussing the scariest games Chris and I have played throughout our childhood up until now. Now, there are a lot of scary horror genre games that we've played since, early 90s, honestly. Chris, what's the first one you remember playing?
Let's see. The first one I remember playing is probably the first Resident Evil, of course.
Yeah, that's exactly the same for me. I was sitting in my buddy's brother's room, and he was showing us Resident Evil 1 because he just got it, I guess, like that. And I remember I jumped so high. You remember that beginning hallway scene where the dogs jump out of the windows?
Yeah, I was actually thinking more of the first zombie that you see. He's eating the guy, and then it shows that.
Yeah, that was pretty scary.
It's like, pretty good graphics, but it shows the zombie turning around, looking over his shoulder. It's pretty creepy for the time.
You have to cap the zombie in time and run away.
Yeah. But then there's the dog jumping through the window, and
that was frightening to me when just running through that hallway, those dogs just busting in. You're like, oh God, run, because you don't have enough ammo. You don't have any of that. It's kind of weird. Pre-PlayStation, you didn't really have too many horror games out there. There were a few, but not many. You know, like with Super Nintendo and Nintendo, there weren't many that scared you. I remember the first scary themed game. I guess it really wasn't scary. Do you remember Ghosts and Goblins?
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like you're in a graveyard and you have to kill zombies and ghouls and stuff like that, but it was kind of like silly,
Yeah, I remember Super Nintendo actually did have like a survival horror type game. It was the Clock Tower series. I think the first one actually came out
Clock Tower.
Yeah. I think that one actually came out on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, later on those came out on PlayStation as well and PC. And I remember playing those, and those were pretty scary too.
Yeah, because I don't think you get weapons in those games either. You just kind of have to run and not die. And then you got to do with the big the scissors coming at you, and you just have to run from them.
Yeah, that was pretty frightening. I remember renting that a long time ago. When actually it was before I had a PlayStation 1. It was when they came out. We went and rented it at the video game store, whatever. And I remember that was one of the games I rented along with like Final Fantasy. But speaking of PlayStation games, though. My number one fear, PlayStation and onward, which to say this series has been long impacted on horror. That is just the epitome of scariness, and a lot of people can vouch for this. Silent Hill.
Definitely.
Silent Hill is probably the scariest freaking game you'll ever play. Now, I'm ashamed to admit I have never finished a Silent Hill game.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Not a single one.
I'm not a man. I get too freaked out with those games. It's like it causes like something in my brain to like run like a little kid. It really does.
And I thought you had at least finished the Homecoming one.
I got close to the end. I never beat it though.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's surprising to me.
I know. Little things you don't know about me. Now, Chris, you've beat all the Silent Hills. I think the farthest I've got was Silent Hill 2. I got all the way to the very end, and I kind of stopped.
I haven't beaten all of them. I beat 2 and Homecoming. I didn't finish 3 or the first one. 3
was pretty freaking scary. I didn't like that game because there was a guy in a bunny suit coming at me. So
I actually couldn't get very far in it. I think I got stuck the first time I tried to play it, and haven't really picked it up since. But I think Silent Hill 2 is probably it has the scariest scene in a game I've ever played, ever. It was you walk into like a bathroom and there's a woman crying in one of the stalls, and so you go over there to kind of look, and then you just hear this banging and just like, whoa!
Yeah, I remember that. Do you remember in Silent Hill 1 the creepy phone calls you would get?
Yeah.
Oh god, that was another game that my buddy's brother played in the room with us, and it was freaking frightening. Oh man.
And then of course you get your radio that starts going staticky when monsters are close.
Yeah. It's pretty horrifying, and I mean they have 2 movies based off of it now too. So
yeah,
I need to go see the newest Silent Hill movie that just came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are probably the Resident Evil, old Resident Evils, and Silent Hills were the top 2 scariest games back in the day.
Yeah.
And Silent Hill still proceeds on to scaring the crap out of you no matter what. So
yeah. Yeah, it seems kind of nowadays though that they're kind of I don't know. I want to say they're kind of going towards a lot of fan service. Like they're just kind of throwing Pyramid Head in there randomly because, you know, if you remember the second game, like Pyramid Head was actually a pretty big part of the story, but he was in Homecoming, just kind of as fan service. I don't know if he's been in any other games since then, but
it was still scary to see him in Homecoming.
Yeah, even though you don't even fight him or anything.
But. No, he just makes an appearance. He's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here. Don't kill me, bro." Yeah, Silent Hill, top of the line. I think scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. But now there's some other games that I played that were pretty frightening. Did you ever play Condemned?
I didn't. I actually wanted to. But,
Condemned wasn't really. I wouldn't say it was like a horror scary game. It had freaky stuff happen. It was more of the jump out scenes that scared you. I remember Derek. He's been in some of our videos. For Left 4 Dead and stuff like that on our YouTube channel. He was sitting in my room with our other buddy TL, and they were watching me on my shoulders play Condemned at this one part. And it's a game about you're a detective, or I guess kind of a detective. I need to replay it, but you're a policeman. You investigate scenes and murder scenes and all this other stuff, and weird stuff starts happening. And at this one point when you're like trying to scan in for forensics on this locker, because there's a body jammed in a locker, you're zooming in and trying to focus, and your camera's not focusing. And right as you focus, the thing grabs you by the throat and lifts you up in there and then tosses you. Derek and TL were right next to me when that scene happened. They were in the back of my room. And it was a jump out moment, but it scared the crap out of me. It left me with this like, what just happened?
Yeah, I kind of got the same feeling from that one scene in Silent Hill 2 with the bathroom. It's, you know, you just feel the, like, in the pit of your stomach, just like, and you gotta run out of the room, and it's just horrible. But,
of course, what are some other games that you play that were kind of like scary recently or whatever? You know?
Probably Amnesia. Amnesia. Yeah, like the horror games are starting to make a comeback. It seems like, you know, I just recently did my Slender video a while back, and that was pretty terrifying. But, yeah, Amnesia.
Funny to watch it too.
Yeah, but yeah, Amnesia is definitely a scary game that I would recommend for anybody, you know, a fan of horror games, because it's like the Clock Tower game. You can't fight back or anything. You just kind of have to hide and escape.
Right. Well, I just recently did that video for our Halloween month. Lone Survivor. That was actually, it's a pixel game. You shouldn't be afraid of a pixel game. It was kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of like Silent Hill in some ways.
Yeah, I saw one of the monsters that has kind of that shaky kind of thing that the Silent Hill games do.
Oh, that sack monster. It's like a human, but looks like a sack that squirts acid out at you.
Yeah.
Oh man, terrifying. So, Chris, do you remember the time when we first played Left 4 Dead on Xbox?
Oh yeah, when the demo came out and we played online.
Yeah, Xbox had the only demo and it wasn't on Steam yet, so we're like, hey, let's try it out. And so we started playing it, and it was the first level, and I think they let you play the first couple levels of No Mercy.
Yeah.
And it's the second level when you go down into the subway, and we had no idea what a witch was. And if you played Left 4 Dead, a witch is this crying little girl that just kills you pretty much instantly. It's scary. She's crying, and all of a sudden we heard crying. We're like, what's that crying noise? And this is the first time we've ever played Left 4 Dead. And we're just like, what is this crying noise? And we go into this vent. Both Chris and I go into this vent, a small vent. You can't really turn around very well and run out. We go in there, and there's this little girl laying there crying. We're like, what is that? And she sees us because we got our flashlights on, and she just starts ripping us apart. Well, one of us, I think it was me, and we were screaming like little girls.
Man.
And now that we play Left 4 Dead, it's not that scary because we're kind of immune to the whole horrorness of it or whatever.
Yeah, I set her on fire in one of our videos.
Yeah, but I mean, but that moment when we first played that zombie game where it was scary to run through, Left 4 Dead, which is kind of weird to say now. It was scary to run through Left 4 Dead and see something completely new and scary that just killed us, in the game.
Yeah.
But that was another moment that we had, and oh man. And there's always Call of Duty Black Ops. We played zombies and everything like that. That's kind of, I wouldn't say it's scary. It's more depressing when you get knocked down by a zombie,
Yeah.
One of I know we keep on bringing up our YouTube videos, but we were playing, what was it, 5, and we ran down the hallway and we got turned around and there were zombies swarming us, and you just hear Chris and I screaming. Ah! Pretty good stuff, though.
Yeah.
Alan's Tech Corner.
All right, so here's something really creepy for Halloween this year. So Jack Monroe, who graduated from London's University of Westminster, he conducted a lot of experiments with blood from like cows. Yeah. He added like sand and antibacterial agents, and like when he baked it all together, he kind of noticed that the elements were all bonding together, and so he used that to make an actual brick.
A brick.
Yeah. So it's actually waterproof, the material that he made with it, and so it's kind of good for like in Africa they make like mud huts, I guess, to keep their houses from falling apart.
So we're gonna make blood brick houses.
Yes. But the idea behind this is like certain countries like Egypt, they'll slaughter animals for meat or what have you, and a lot of the blood just kind of goes to waste. And so using these blood bricks, they can just reuse all the materials and build their buildings and what have you to kind of protect against whatever weather's going on.
That's insane. Yeah. It's cool, but it's insane. Very neat.
Yeah. Blood bricks.
Well, look it up if you want more information, I guess. And our not so spooky news for Alan's Tech Corner is the iPad Mini has been announced, and it's going to be coming out, next month on the 2nd?
Yeah.
November 2nd. And then also the iPad 4. This kind of blew us away a little bit. We did not expect a new iPad this soon. I mean, how long has the iPad 3 been out? What, 6 months?
Yeah, it's like 7 months. I think it came out March this year, actually.
This is a very weird move from Apple, honestly.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I was kind of expecting the mini. Like there's been rumors going on about that, but I don't think there's been any kind of word about, a fourth gen iPad.
and a lot of people right now are a little pissed off because they just bought the iPad 3 and they said it was supposed to be powerful and everything like this.
Yeah.
And the iPad 4 is supposed to be like what, triple the power and just ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, the iPad 3 still has the dual core A5 chip, I think, and then the new one coming out has a dual core A6 X with
chip.
With quad core graphics, and it's supposed to be like ridiculously powerful compared to
I think what
3.
they were trying to do, since they kind of messed up with the iPad 3, they didn't add that ultra fast network speed. Was it
LTE?
Yeah. I think that this one is going to be having that, so I think they're trying to get the fastest speed onto the newest iPad.
And also I think the 3 doesn't have the new Lightning connector with the iPhone 5, and this new one is going to have that as well.
Right. So it may be a smart move, but it's, roughly the same price, that you're buying a normal iPad for. Now, the Mini is very similar to the iPad 2, just with a lot more features.
Well, I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, it's basically the same. Like the chip is the same. The displays, you get the same resolution. It's just 7.9 inches as opposed to 9.7, so it's definitely smaller, and it's half the weight from what I've been reading. It's it's ridiculously light and thin.
It's supposed to have Siri on it as well.
Yes,
and
it
also
has
the
Siri and the new Lightning connector, and the cameras is what seems to be the main upgrade. Like the iPad 2, the FaceTime camera is only VGA resolution. The new one for the Mini is FaceTime HD. It's got 1.2 megapixel, which doesn't sound great, but maybe it's a different kind.
Well, that's the front camera. That's for the FaceTime stuff.
Yeah,
so.
It's got 720p HD video and face detection. I guess the iPad 2 doesn't have face detection, and the back camera on the iPad 2 is 960 by 720, and the iPad Mini has like full HD, 5 megapixel autofocus, hybrid IR filter, all kinds of cool stuff. It's 16 gigs for $329, $429 for 32, and $529 for 64 gigs, and that's only for the Wi-Fi version. If you want the Wi-Fi with the cellular or the 3G, it's $459 for 16,
right.
$559, 32 gigs, and $659 for 64. So still very pricey, but
you still have to pay for the cellular fees and everything like that.
Right.
For the, it is cheaper, definitely cheaper than the bigger iPad. I bought my 32 gigabyte iPad 2 when it came out. I bought that for $599, I think, which is pretty steep. So if you like Apple products, maybe if you don't mind doing a size decrease, which is not much, but if you don't mind that, then this is pretty good.
Yeah, I would say if you are, even if you're still rocking the first iPad or the iPad 2, it may be worth it to try to kind of sell it and, put that money towards the Mini. But if you have like the iPad 3, then I wouldn't even recommend it at all, because it's basically an iPad 2.
Now, if you're pretty hung up on making sure you have the best quality of, whatever with the iPad 3, maybe sell that one and get the iPad 4 when it comes out, because it's going to be way more powerful than the iPad 3, which kind of, like I said, it upset a lot of people. And that's why I was kind of weirded out why Apple did this so soon.
Yeah, like as fast as they're putting out these tablets, like I would even recommend for the Mini just waiting until next year, because right now it doesn't even have the Retina display that the new iPad is going to have. Right. So I'm thinking probably this time next year they're going to have iPad Mini 2, and it's going to have the Retina display and the better processor, the dual core A6X, and it's probably going to be a lot better. So
CES review.
Oh, Chris?
Thought you were dead.
Not yet. Man, where are we? Let's get out of here.
Well, okay then.
Hey, wait.
Bill's here.
Die! You okay?
Oh no. Yeah.
All right, with the review today, it's kind of a review. I don't really have too much to review on because it's a simple game. On iOS, I'm not too sure if it's on Android. I'd only seen it for iOS for now. Zombie Swipeout. It was a free game, and there was this game called Zombie Smash, I think, a while ago it came out. It's not by the same company that made that, but it's the same art and the same characters and the same, kind of style. But Zombie Swipeout is this free-to-play game where it's kind of like Fruit Ninja. I guess you could compare it to that. You played it a little bit, Chris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You basically just take your finger and swipe zombies, and you have to buy new swords with the little in-game money you earn through it, or you could use microtransactions and, buy your awesome weapons and whatever. So far, I've played it a decent amount, just while I'm on the toilet or sitting on the couch or something like that, And I've played it a decent amount, and it seems it's gotten kind of boring. It's not a game that you're going to be playing all the time. It's kind of like one of those, oh, I'm bored, I'm going to play something,
Yeah.
Why don't I chop some zombies up and, whatever. But it's a pretty fun little free-to-play game. I will not buy the microtransactions. I've never done that on any game except if I'm buying like an extra level or something like that. If you're a fan of the free-to-play games without spending, I would recommend it. Spending any cash on it, I don't recommend, honestly. There's not enough features to be worthwhile. But
yeah, if you're willing to spend money, I would just go ahead and buy Fruit Ninja because you get extra modes and stuff with that game, and this one you only have the one minute and a half mode.
It is free, but if you want, there's one ad that pops up after you beat a level. It's like just a standard ad. You can hit X. You can buy the ad-free version, but it really doesn't matter, honestly.
Yeah, is that all it does? Is just take the ads away for paying for it?
Yep, that's it. There's no extra features. It's kind of okay. Like you're gonna play it for a while and then probably put it down. It reminds me of those little Facebook games, honestly.
Yeah, and that's another thing, something I didn't really care for with it. Like with those Facebook games, you have only a certain amount of turns you can play, and then you have to kind of wait for it to recharge and get energy. So that's something that didn't really rub me the right way. And you would think that if you got the paid version, it would take away the ads, and then it would take away that whole recharge thing as well.
Right.
But,
I think that's just their angle for buying in-game currency and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Trying to get some money out of it. But it's pretty cool. And Chris, you got another review, so why don't you go ahead and dive into that?
Yes. I've been playing the beta for Primal Carnage. Now, if you haven't heard of this, it's kind of like a team deathmatch game where you play as one team you play as humans and the other team is dinosaurs. It's pretty awesome. And of course, the dinosaurs are way more fun to play than any of the human classes, but the humans actually can hold their own, which is pretty surprising. Like, if the humans can stick together, then they're pretty much invincible. Yeah, it actually comes out, it'll be out by the time this is posted, but it's out on the 29th. But the gameplay is pretty different between each one. Like, my favorite one, a lot of people will probably go with the T-Rex and stuff, but I think my favorite one is the Pteranodon, because I like flying around and picking up the humans and flying and then, kind of dropping them off to their death. It doesn't really get old at all.
Now, how many players does it do?
These are 5 versus 5 games.
5 versus 5?
Yeah. They're not big games, but they're still pretty fun.
You actually contacted the developer, and he gave you a bunch of beta keys to hand out to our fans and everything like that. We already did the handout on Twitter already, but
yeah, because I found out that they were actually going to be releasing the full game on the 29th, so I was like, crap, now I got to give all these beta codes away. But yeah, pretty
awesome. We plan on doing more give-outs later on if we get more keys and stuff on Twitter, so make sure you follow us. But
yes, you other indie developers, we recently talked to what was it, Curious Panda with Rhythm Destruction. If you want to do an interview or kind of get some kind of exposure with your game, go ahead and contact us and we can get the word out.
Definitely. But Primal Carnage is on Steam, and I'm guessing it's on... No, is it just on Steam, Chris?
I think it's on Steam, and I'm pretty sure you can go to Reverb Publishing and buy the game through them as well.
get a standard no DRM copy as well. So cool.
CES News.
New word from the nation's top scientists on the zombie virus that appeared just 2 weeks ago. They released information saying the symptoms to watch for are aggression, foaming from the mouth, deterioration of motor skills, and an unbelievable hunger. Be advised that if an infected becomes hostile, the only way to harm them is to shoot them in the head.
Well, we got a special TS news today. Only one Halloweeny thing.
Really, I think it's only one Halloween topic that we have. This is a sad Halloween episode, Chris. Walking Dead Retail Edition is going to be coming out soon. It's going to be priced at standard version will cost $29.99, and the $69.99 version collector's edition exclusive at GameStop is going to be out. Now, I'm trying to see when there's a release date, but I'm not seeing anything right now. But you can pre-order it right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's around December.
Yeah, well, that's
whenever the last episode comes out for that.
Right. And if you haven't played that game, it's awesome. It's if you like the show or the comic, it does justice to it. It's freaking awesome. It's scary. I don't know how to explain it, but it's by the crew that made Sam & Max and Tales of Monkey Island, Telltale Games, and phenomenal game series.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's actually on sale for $15 for the PC version right now on Amazon.
The collector's edition of the game, which you can get at GameStop, will have 48 issues that comes with it in the collector's edition. So it's like a gigantic book, of all the Walking Dead series. So that's pretty cool.
All right, so here's a bit of a surprise that came out a little bit ago. There's going to be a new Borderlands game coming out for iOS. It's called Borderlands Legends, and it's going to be out pretty soon, I think. It'll be
end of October,
yeah.
I think they said that.
Yeah, but it's
actually it'll probably be out on Halloween. So
yeah, it's a little bit different than the other games. It's not a first-person shooter. It's like a kind of an isometric, like RPG kind of thing. You actually control all 4 of the original characters from the first Borderlands, and I'm not sure if it's like a new story or if it's kind of like a retelling of the first game. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of information on it just yet. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty interesting. Like you kind of tap around the screen to move them around, I guess, and the missions are random. And I think you don't actually loot in the game. Like after you complete a mission, you get money, and then you kind of have to buy the weapons like between missions. But it still has that kind of looting, get the next good weapon, that sort of thing.
Kind of has an XCOM feel to it, I guess, if you want to look at it like an RTS perspective.
Either XCOM or it was another iOS game that came out. What was it called? I think it was. It's kind of like another iOS game called Tiny Troopers, where you kind of have to tap around and shoot the enemies as they come up. That one was actually pretty fun. It was a free-to-play game that came out a while ago. But yeah, this one actually looks pretty interesting.
Windows 8 has been released along with Windows Surface on October 26th. Now, Windows Surface is Microsoft's tablet. So, and that's fully loaded with Windows 8 or whatever. But I just kind of bought Windows 8 when it came out, and it's cool so far. I'll give you guys a review later on, maybe next month or the month after I get used to everything.
Bit of a PS3 update. Firmware version 4.30 just went live. A couple of changes. They're moving the trophies from the games list over to the PlayStation Network list. So you'll be able to look at them there. And they're adding, right now you can see both of your PS3 and your Vita trophies on the Vita, but right now you can only do the PS3 trophies on the console. Like they're adding to where you can see the Vita trophies as well over both consoles. And they're doing away with Life with PlayStation, which I'm actually not entirely sure what that is. I've never actually used it, but it's going away.
It was supposed to be something for universities to do data analysis,
right?
Data, whatever, contributing, and you helped out, whatever. It was cool, but not many people used it. Skyrim, apparently you can get your degree in it. Private university Rice in Houston, Texas, offering course in Skyrim, and That's weird. For one semester only, students can sign up for a fantasy worlds, Old Norse sagas, and Skyrim class, I guess. It's a
Don't
junior
make
level
with the knee jokes, or they'll expel you.
It's a junior level class taught by Professor Donna Beth Ellard. Sorry if I butchered your name. It's pretty ridiculous, but hey, check it out if you're part of that university.
College credit for playing video games. How awesome is that?
It's pretty awesome.
A little bit of Mass Effect news. BioWare just confirmed that there is going to be no more Commander Shepard stories in Mass Effect 4 or whatever the next game is going to be called.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good thing because, right now I think they should actually go ahead and do that with whatever is coming down with Mass Effect 3, like any more story things that come out, because I'm not going to spoil the ending at all, but the one that just came out recently, the Leviathan story, it doesn't really mesh with the ending. Like, if you've already beaten the game, then it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Well, it's supposed to be before you beat the game.
But
they did that with Mass Effect 2, if you remember. A lot of the
Yeah.
DLCs that came out like that.
Yeah, but with Mass Effect 2, there wasn't really like a definitive ending, I guess. Like, it could have possibly taken place after that whole collector-based thing, but with the ending of 3, it's pretty definitive. So,
well, it'd be cool, I mean, if they get some more Mass Effect games out that are just about the universe, not just around Commander Shepard and his team,
Yeah, because the universe is just ridiculously huge. There's like hundreds and hundreds of, like, thousands of stories that could be told. So,
and they could do prequels. I mean, there's books based off prequels and stuff like that. Information before Commander Shepard was even about in the universe, all that kind of stuff. So
personally, I would like to see a story about like the Turian Wars or the First Contact Wars, like when the humans first met up with the Turians, and all the other races are kind of meeting up.
Yeah,
so,
or discover the Prothean relics on Mars. That would be cool too.
Yeah.
They kind of do that a little bit in Mass Effect 3, but you get to visit the base because it's under attack, so.
So, yeah, Shepard's story is done.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, bad news for G4 fans, if there's any left. Are there any left? You guys know what G4 is anymore? X-Play and Attack of the Show have been canceled. And I'd like to...
the only reasons anybody watched G4 to begin with.
Right. And, good luck to everyone that has been a part of those shows. I know a lot of people have left. Alison Hayslip and just a bunch of people. Kevin Perret has been around with Attack of the Show since the beginning, and I feel kind of bad for him, but they'll find better work somewhere else. G4 is just not doing too well. But canceling the main attraction to their channel, see ya.
Yep.
But good luck with everybody that, has been a part of those shows.
Well, that was a fun adventure.
Fun adventure? Getting chased by monsters? And you almost getting your face eaten off by a zombie? That's fun? Yeah, I guess it actually was. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, for Halloween tonight, I'm actually going to be trick-or-treating with my daughter, of course. So,
I would like to be trick-or-treating. I actually would. I wish I was taller so I could do like a Slender Man costume.
Give you the short version of Slender Man.
Yeah, but
or you? I don't know, some guy.
But we're actually going to be getting ready for our big trip. Like, I'm probably going to be sleeping Halloween night because we're leaving for Orlando early in the morning on the 1st. We'll actually be there this weekend. So fun stuff.
Very cool. And you guys are going on a big excursion. I just got back from my trip, so.
Yeah, you just went to Disneyland, didn't you?
Shh. Yeah, I did. I'm not there anymore, so it's okay. No. Yeah, we went to Disneyland and had a magical time. It was amazing. But yeah, we did a little bit of Halloween stuff there. The whole park was decorated in Halloween themed. It was really cool. So
yeah. When I went a couple of years ago, they redid the whole Haunted Mansion to look like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, they had that. It was awesome.
Yeah. And then
was
Space Mountain was redone too. I don't think you got a chance to see that one though.
No, I didn't get a chance to do Space Mountain. It was like a 3-hour wait just to get on it. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Apparently, we went during the worst time to visit California for Disneyland because it was warm out, and usually it's cold around that time, so everyone was at the park.
Yeah.
So it was kind of crazy, but cool things. Well, happy Halloween to every one of our listeners, and make sure you check out all our videos that we had for this month of October. And I think we just uploaded some Call of Duty zombie videos and stuff like that. So yeah, very cool stuff. Yeah.
This is actually going to be my last episode for a little while. Like, I'm going to be gone for the entirety of November, but I will be back for December.
And I'm going to be working on something special for Christmas. Hopefully I can get it done during the month of November. And I will probably be doing one podcast at most. I'm going to try. It matters on time, but I should have it done. So look forward to that. And also anything else we have planned for Emerald Coast Productions. We're going to be going ahead and ending the show. You can follow me at mbufftes.
And as always, I'm at cstewtes.
Make sure you like us on Facebook, subscribe on iTunes and YouTube, and also join our Steam group. You know, we're always up for gaming. I know a few of our fans have already joined recently. So thanks everyone for listening, and see you next time.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Emerald Coast Productions, and to you listeners. If you have any rants, comments, or suggestions, please email me at techearthsyndicate@gmail.com.
And remember, that's techearthsyndicate@gmail.com.
Happy Halloween!
Is that good?